Hello, this video is entitled Books. So, first of all, I'd like to say a couple of things. I got given this personalised vape from a friend who works in promotions, which is very nice. It's a vanilla low nicotine flavour. I don't like high nicotine, but it's very nice, very relaxing. And this is sort of my study um, assistant. So whenever I'm feeling a bit stressed or anxious, I'll turn to the vape. It's better than alcohol. It's very nice. But anyway, I also want to say thanks to Ethan Ralph of the Kill Stream, which is like a live podcast, I think. And he's based in Texas, and he did ask me to appear on his show, but unfortunately, with my mental health conditions, I didn't think that would be the best thing at this time. But maybe at some point in the future, it's just not something that I'm able to do right now. I also got asked by Jonathan Davis of the Wisdom app to appear as a top mentor on the Wisdom app, but again, I felt that it wasn't something I could do at this present time. I'm still finding it quite difficult with like the sort of milder forms of psychosis like paranoia and that sort of thing. So I thought maybe putting myself out there other than YouTube wasn't the right thing right now. But yeah, so I want to talk about some books today. So these are two books that I've recently bought. Albert Camus, Lyrical and Critical Essays. And I really like Albert Camus, even though I'm a Catholic. I find existentialism fascinating. And Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus in particular. I tried to attempt Sartre's Being in Nothingness, but it was quite a hard slog, I have to say. And Albert Camus is, in my opinion, the finer writer, maybe the lesser thinker, but the finer writer. And I've certainly read his L'étranger, The Outsider, and got it in French and in English. And yes, I'm looking forward to reading these lyrical and critical essays because they've got quite high praise. And he wrote plenty of amazing non-fiction, like The Myth of Sisyphus is another one that I've read. And yeah, he's definitely a writer that I find interesting. And another book I bought recently was non-fiction by Umberto Eco, On Beauty, A History of a Western Idea. And really, this is filled with fascinating illustrations just about every page, and it goes through basically the history of Western ideas of beauty. And it's just an awesome book. Looking forward to reading that as well. I'm currently reading another Umberto Eco non-fiction work, On the Shoulders of Giants, which is a collection of essays. But yes, Umberto Eco, I've read Foucault's Pendulum and Baudolino, which are two of his novels, and I really enjoyed both of them. And he's such a good thinker, really interesting thinker. So, two books I'm reading at the moment are, of course, Plato's Republic. Now, you can't consider yourself part of the intellectual life without having read Plato's Republic. I first read it in my gap year 2004, and when I attempted most of Plato's works, and I'm going to reread it now. And yes, Plato's Republic contains many fine ideas, and I like it as a metaphor for the human soul. I'm not as keen on his political ideas, but as a metaphor for the human soul, it's absolutely extraordinary, and it contains many profound, profound explorations of the more spiritual elements of the human soul, and also, of course, famously in Book One, Thrasymachus, as the devil's advocate, argues that human power is just a means to sort of establishing might over right, and that there's no such thing as justice and that sort of thing. So, but of course, Socrates, who is Plato's main character, comes back with a full rebuttal of that, and he goes on to explore many metaphysical ideas, and it's just fascinating. It's one of my top works, Plato's Republic. So yeah, there's that, and I'm also just about finishing the Catina on St. Luke, which was compiled by Thomas Aquinas. It's a compiled commentary of the Church Fathers on each of the Gospels. This one's St. Luke. I've only got about 40 pages left. When I finish this, I'm going to start on St. Mark, and so it's just the best way to read the Gospel. Even if you're not Christian, I'd recommend reading the Gospel. It's just such a fascinating work, and yes, contains many fine ideas, and there's many non-Christian approaches to the Gospel. Just give me a minute, I'm trying to find the right book. Somewhere here. Here we go. It took me a good 5 or 6 minutes to find this, but the Sermon on the Mount, according to Vedanta. So if you are of a non-Christian persuasion and you want a way into the gospel, perhaps looking at it from the point of view of the Vedanta would help. And I've not read this yet, but I look forward to it. Hinduism is my second favourite religion, and I love the Vedanta. And yes, this looks at the gospel from that sort of teaching. So that's one way into the gospels. If you're finding it difficult to appreciate a Christian point of view. And then finally, something that I'm about a quarter of the way through, Wallace Stevens' collected poems, and I've actually not read this for quite a while, but I want to get back into it again. And I love the 20th century poetry of Wallace Stevens and Robert Frost, the great American poets. And yes, it's American poetry is something I want to get into, because I did an English literature course for undergrad, and didn't cover any American authors. So I also want to what's his name now? The short stories of Nathaniel Hawthorne. I just wanted to look that up. Nathaniel Hawthorne. It's got highly recommended to me by an essay I read by Herman Melville on the prose fiction of Hawthorne, and so that's something I want to read. But that's into the distant future, on the back burner, I think. because probably about 60 to 70% of Hazelwood Hermitage Library is unread actually. So I've got a long way to go. I've got just scanning the shelves now. There's so much I've got to read. So it's like spiritual works, literature, philosophy. They're the main categories. Then the psychology. I want to get on with Carl Jung. Carl Jung's psychological types. Awful front cover, but psychological types. I want to definitely read that when I get the chance. So I find everything by Jung fascinating, but yeah, that's something else to be getting on with. So I'm kept very busy really with all these works to be studying. I try and set a priority for spiritual works because that obviously helps with their spiritual growth as well. But yeah, I'll just see how I get on with everything. So I think that concludes this talk. So thank you for listening.